This month is all about the lower back. So when we discuss the lower back, there's a lot to consider. There's quads, hamstrings, all of the hip muscles that can be impacting that area, spinal curvatures, so many different things. The SI joints, the hips in general, the calves, everything is obviously connected, as we know, and so kind of depends on what is happening for each person. But we're going to talk about some ideas to modify some common poses for lower back issues. So ways to make them more lower back friendly. We're going to start with a standing quad stretch. So you could do a typical hero's pose where you are sitting on the blocks and you're leaning back. This variation is a standing one. So to start off, we're going to prepare just as we would if we were going into a single leg standing pose. So say tree pose or a similar pose to that. So we're rolling the shoulders down and back. We're lifting. I'm going to stand on this leg first. So we're lifting through the spine all the way to the crown of the head. We're engaging the inner ankle, right? So we're not letting that arch just drop and have that inner ankle fall in. We're keeping it up nice and straight. So we can even warm up, with some flexion and extension if you needed to. But basically we're going to bend the leg and see my quads are tight, so I'm compensating by leaning over. And as we do this, so I'm grabbing onto my foot, I'm pulling in my belly button towards my spine, I'm straightening my femur bone, so my thigh bone on the bent leg is going straight down. It's not going out or in. A lot of people will do this and just wing their leg out. The other thing is you can press the foot into the hand, just like you're doing bow pose. So this would be a good preparation or building for bow. The other thing is to keep the hips square. So if you cannot reach your foot, this is a variation that, I don't know, I think if you wanted to use it, you could. So I have a strap looped, and I'm going to put the buckle on the bottom of my foot, not the top, and then kind of walk on my toes. You can also, of course, always use a wall or a chair or something like that. So we're going to bend down and grab the strap. Now the strap isn't super tight, but it's tight enough it's not going to slide up my foot. So we're going to be here, and then we just lift the strap up, and so you can adjust this, but we're still engaging the glute, right? We're engaging the core, we're squaring the hips here, so we're not irritating the lower back as we walk the hands down. And you can make this as easy as you want. You could be here. Maybe that's a stretch. So the other variation that I want to talk about is using, say you have a student or you yourself have really tight quads and you can't reach. That's okay. You can use, I have, this is just an ottoman, but you can do this on a couch. So what you do is and if you have sensitive knees, you can pad that, obviously. But I'm hooked my toes around the back, so it depends on the height and everything, but if you engage your core, so you're standing nice and tall. Now, if you had a shoulder issue, this would be a way you could stretch them out without having to use your upper body. And we might have to bend this leg and then lean into it. Now when we do this stretch, regardless of how we're doing it, we're pressing down through this femur bone, the thigh bone, like there's a leg continuing on there, because we want it to be square, we want it to be straight. We don't want to tweak the low back, right? The whole point is to make this accessible for the lower back. So we can do that. It's a gentler stretch if you're not very tight. So I want to show you from this way. I'm hooking on it. Now you don't have to do that, but I think it engages the muscle, the stretch better. So we're keeping the hips level. We can adjust that by bending this knee on the leg that's down. So from this way, it would be here. Even if it's too long to do it, you can still play with that. And pay attention to the angle in the pelvis as well. But we're making sure that we're strong through the core, and we're also going to talk about some back exercises for strengthening the back to help combat or prevent lower back pain.